Welcome to the Imagine AI Live podcast. I'm here at the Impact event in New York City, and I have the most special guest of the day, the founder and CEO, Steve Metcalf. Hello and welcome.
Hey, thank you again for having me on. I know this is, I know you guys have been pretty busy, I think, today. So,
well, you just concluded your second event, the first Impact event. How was your day today?
I'm still processing it, but I'm smiling, so that's a good thing. And this was again something that we had this incredible event in Las Vegas. You guys were a part of that back in March, and this was sort of the idea was to do another event. And everyone kept saying, you can't wait another year. You have to do this faster because AI is not going to wait. And this was really the manifestation of that. So we're not even 4 months from the Las Vegas event. Here we are in New York City. And we decided to take 2 days worth of AI content, compress it into like a giant sandwich, an AI sandwich, and we call it Impact. This was a bit of an experiment for us, but I think everybody who's been here today just got so much out of this. We decided to layer in workshops on top of learning and discovery. So we already had this sort of discovery track with our keynotes and incredible companies that have come featuring their products here. The workshop element was new for us, and it really attracted sort of a new type of cohort to this thing. So super, super excited. We're still going. We have more to do tonight. We're having a wrap-up event, so we're excited for that too.
Absolutely. So tell me about the build-up to this event. How did you decide on the name Impact? How did you get this spot at Cornell Tech in New York City? How did that all come to be?
Oh, yeah. Well, so I don't know where the name Impact came from, but Imagine AI Live is sort of the big event we did in Las Vegas. We want to do that again, obviously, in the spring. It'll be a multi-day event, much bigger event than it was last year. Impact was a way to say, how do you make an impact in one day? How do you make an impact in a city, and bring what we were doing sort of more towards kind of the geographies we're after, people that maybe couldn't go to a destination event, but we could bring it to them. And this was the idea is like, again, one day impact. What can we do with AI that would really inspire people? And especially if you're in the business walk or enterprise walks, creative walks, how is AI impacting your profession, your life? And what we can do to kind of help people discover some things that should be really helpful to them.
And how did Cornell Tech come to be? What a special place.
Well, that was interesting. So when we came out of Las Vegas, we met a lot of people from all over the world, really. Mm-hmm. And some of the people we connected with, we had a speaker named Ngonzi who had come out. She's a New York native, has been here. She's connected with NYU, and she's a Cornell alumni. And we were connected. I connected with a lot of people after that event. Liz was one of the first ones I talked to, and I was describing this idea of a one-day event called Impact. And I always thought it would be a great idea to bring it to New York. I mean, of course, go big or go home. It's the Big Apple. Mm-hmm. Why not do it here? And she said, I can help you. And she volunteered to be what we now call our city host of an Impact event, and really was absolutely instrumental behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Her connections, she's a Cornell alumni. So her connections with Cornell and what's here is called Cornell Tech, which is kind of like their MIT. And this was, pre-pandemic, this facility was opened up on Roosevelt Island, an amazing island that I had no idea even existed. Mm-hmm. And I asked her at one point, I said, out of the top locations in New York City, where would you host this? And she said, my number one choice would be Cornell Tech on Roosevelt Island. And I said, okay, you sold me at Cornell because my father went to Cornell University back in the day and got an English degree from them. And that was, I said, if it looks good, and of course it's amazing, it's high tech. It's sort of everything we're looking for in a new modern environment. Mm-hmm. And the Cornell staff and faculty and team here has been fantastic to work with. We wanted to partner with the university. We felt like that bringing the energy of what university is doing in the realm of AI would be very important as well. And the element that they brought too with their faculty and staff and students that are all really into what's happening in the scene really made it special for us.
Yeah. Speaking with the dean this morning was an extra special privilege. And to talk to somebody that well-versed and established in education who's accepting of AI and even promoting it and putting into his institution that is so well known is really amazing to see and a privilege to get to be a part of.
You can take the approach in an academic institution that, well, students shouldn't use AI, but I love what's happening because it's like the encouragement. These are power tools for the mind. And the more students lean into them, the more they create, the more innovations happen. and the more it benefits all of us out there in society. And we heard from some amazing students and panels, and the level of entrepreneurship that's being supported here, the level of invention, astuteness that comes with this university. It just brought a different level to it, which we were just extremely fortunate to have.
Yeah, a whole panel of student founders.
Student founders. I mean, these are fearless young people that could go into the machine. They could go work for big tech and big companies, and they're choosing to go pursue this entrepreneurial route. And it was really amazing to see that and the support that Cornell Tech gives them in that journey.
So can you give us a little behind the scenes of the planning and process that went into establishing this event, this second event that you've done?
We're trying to eat our own dog food with AI. So one of the things, we've done, I've come from a background, I've done events before. We're trying to be AI native in everything we do at Imagine AI Live, the types of events we produce. So we're using the AI tech stack at every level. In some cases, a little rough on the edges, but we're able to do things. We're able to sort of 10x what we're able to do to produce an event. So a normal event, you would probably take a 6-month cycle at least to get the word out. And you do a lot of planning, you hire a lot of people to help you with that production process. We literally did this with I would say almost volunteer staff, people that wanted to bring their talent, their energy to us. We used AI at every step, whether it was outbound communications about the event, the orchestration of registration, processing of these things. At every level, we're bringing AI into the scene. So we're kind of reinventing the conference stack, so to speak, in terms of the tech stack you would use to produce an event. And the thesis was, instead of doing an event that would take 6 months to plan, what if we could do it in 6 weeks? And that's what we pulled off. So we announced this event. So we're July 12th right now. We announced it right after Labor Day. We had only conceived it a few weeks before that. I don't think we even contracted the venue yet. So it's sort of like if you could take a professional event, the feeling of a meetup, and then use AI to kind of accelerate the thing. And then you end up having hundreds and hundreds of people show up to one of these things. And this was a conference that didn't exist 6 months ago. Imagine AI Live is a new brand of conference. It's a new idea exchange. And we're really looking to cross-pollinate ideas. We're not specific to an industry or a function or a tech level. We're sort of crossing it both ways, which really makes us unique, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's been the favorite of everyone that I've spoken to today, which has been a lot of people. Their favorite thing is that you don't have to be in deep tech, but even if you are, you're going to learn, and you maybe don't even know about AI, and you come and it's not too intimidating. You can still learn how to use it and how to implement it. So
oh, I love it. We have people, I've spoken to so many people, machine learning engineers that interact with artists and creatives and what they learn from each other at the same event. And a lot of it comes back to sort of the idea of prompt engineering. So much of this is going to how we interact with these AI models. And so much of it is how we prompt them and what we can learn from each other and the artistry of prompting, not just the sort of the engineering level of it, but the artistry of it. And it really crosses functions in industry, whether you're dealing with a hardcore business process that faces a customer or a data analytics process, or whether you're trying to create the next cool soundtrack or video for something that you could use in your company or just in your personal life, just enjoy in your own productivity. So that's what we're really interested in, is bringing these ideas together, colliding them in a beautiful way, and giving everybody a really incredible experience.
So can you give our audience a brief look into your history and your past that has led you to creating the Imagine AI brand?
So I'm one of these folks that maybe has done a little bit of everything in their career. And so I probably would call myself a lifelong entrepreneur. I knew it when I was probably 16 or 17 years old. I ended up working in a lot of big tech. I worked for big consulting early on in my career. I ended up working in the startup universe when the first B2B and B2C wave were happening. I went through that wave, really learned a lot. I learned a lot from incredibly smart people when technology was really accelerating through those waves. Ended up becoming a CEO of a company I founded or co-founded with another gentleman, and became a CEO. I had to wear every hat in an organization. And we ended up creating a global industrial tech company. So we learned a lot. And I experienced a lot of the things that just take time and toil. I understand sort of what big enterprises deal with. We had a lot of major corporations, enterprises that would be customers of ours. And I've been in their shoes as well. And that's what kind of led me to this, is like, where is the conference that you can go to if you think of yourself as a CEO? And whether you're running a one-person billion-dollar company, which some of us may aspire to at someday, or whether it's just you're just getting started, or whether you're a huge leadership position in a major enterprise, there has to be a conference where you can go to really learn things faster and plug into the scene faster, because it is happening at an exponential rate, which we're not used to. And it's happening across every facet of your company, in every department, at every level, from tech all the way up to senior leadership and even the CEO. So that was what really interested me, and I couldn't find a conference like that. So we thought, well, let's get some like-minded people together and let's create it. And that became Imagine AI Live.
Amazing. What's one random fact about you that people wouldn't guess?
Okay. So I have an identical twin brother. And a lot of people may not know that, but if you remember in Las Vegas, there was a guy walking around that looked kind of like me.
Yep.
And so maybe that's something I would sort of throw out there, that he's not here at this event, but he brought his energy to the first event. And I have a very special sort of person in my life that way. And I would say when we were brought up, my twin brother and I were the oldest. I was the oldest. I still refer to him as my younger brother. He was only 5 minutes younger than me.
I mean, I've heard that about twins. They're very particular about who came out first.
I remind him that 5 minutes is a long time if you have to go sit in a corner. But our parents were amazing, and they kind of infused in us the spirit of, you can be anything you want. You can imagine anything you want to be. And it took for us at a very early age that the idea that you could become what you dream was a really important facet. And he's had an incredible career. He's in the advertising space, has done amazing work for amazing big brands and companies and organizations. I went more the sort of business route, but we still intersect, and we're best friends to this day.
Amazing. Yeah, I do remember meeting him. I did a little double take. I'm like, wait.
He was my doppelganger at the last event.
Exactly. And are there any closing thoughts or anything you want to impart to your audience as they're listening to this at the close of your second event?
Well, first of all, I would say thank you for supporting us. If you've come here to New York for Impact, you made history. And if you came to Las Vegas for our inaugural event, you made history. And we couldn't do this without the energy of people that are interested in AI, that are interested in applying it to things that they do every day to reduce this cognitive load. That one of the things that really inspires me is all the things I can imagine doing now that used to take so much time and effort and toil and aggravation that can be brought to AI, but this new intelligence that we're dealing with. And this is probably the worst it's ever going to be. So be nice to it, because it's going to get a lot better. That's one thing I try to do, but it's really just thanking the people that have come with us on this journey, that have become members of Imagine AI Live. We have a digital membership. So if you're not able to come to one of our events, we deliver the content on our website. You can subscribe to that, become a member. And if you become a member, you can come to any one of our events and trade that membership in for a discount on your pass to one of our live events. And the live events, I think, where the real magic happens, where you interact with lots of people and you meet people that you would only dream of meeting. So we have cities on our list. We're considering Boston, Seattle, LA, Austin, of course, Miami is on the list. Chicago, one of the cities I've spent a lot of time in personally. So we have some scouting cities that we're looking at to bring this to those cities. We're working with, there's a lot of AI communities that are coming up together in these communities. And we like partnering with hosts and communities that already exist that are already drawing AI interest. So that's one of our strategies and interests. But we are planning our mega event, the Imagine AI Live event, which will be in the spring. We'll probably bring it to Las Vegas again. There's an energy there that really is hard to beat for that kind of an event. Multi-day event with workshops, networking, discovery, networking, fun, AI, lots of stuff. And so that's the thing we're planning next. We don't have dates yet, but stay tuned. Follow us at imagineai.live. And we'll be releasing more details. Subscribe to our newsletter. We're going to have a newsletter that'll give out more details about that. But we can't wait for people to come discover us and see what we're all about.
How can somebody become a city host for the next Impact event?
Absolutely. We are looking for people that are so passionate about AI that it literally, that's what they do, that they're giving up other things in their lives to focus on this. They're building communities in their regions, in their areas. We're already talking to a number of them already. But reach out to us. You can find me at steve@imagineai.live. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on X, Twitter, and most of the socials. And Chris Madden. I should mention Chris Madden, one of my co-founders, who normally sits in your seat as our host of our podcast, is an incredible guy. He's also interviewing a lot of people that are telling incredible stories about their AI journeys, and we're doing that year round. So reach out to us if there's any interest. If you've got an idea, a venue, a city, a thought, a theme, we're willing to bring Imagine AI Live to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing time with us today and for addressing the audience and participants. And we can't wait for the next event.
We can't either. We'll see you there.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for man.